World Annual Summit of the Iranian Resistance connected 50,000 locations online in 105 countries from 10 to 12 July 2021. In this gathering participated more than 1,000 political prominent dignitaries, including 11 current and former prime ministers, 5 parliament speakers, 70 former ministers from different countries, 30 US senators and congressmen and congresswomen, 30 prominent American dignitaries, 250 lawmakers from European and Arabic countries and Canada, and also more than 300 Iranian societies and communities in Europe, the US, Canada, and Australia. During the summit, some of the resistance forces inside Iran, under the severe security circumstances, talked directly to the participants.
مقاومت ایران حمایت می‌کنیم. دموکراسی، آزادی. حاضر، حاضر، حاضر.
The summit began with the speech of Mrs. Maryam Rajavi, the Iranian resistance president-elect.
خواست ما و مردم ما در این 3 کلمه خلاصه می شود: آزادی، دموکراسی و برابری. تا جایی که به جامعه جهانی مربوط می شود، خواست ما از آنها این است که مبارزه مردم ایران برای سرنگونی این رژیم و برای تحقق همین 3 کلمه را به رسمیت بشناسند. خواست ما محاکمه خامنه‌ای، رئیسی، اژه‌ای و دیگر مسئولان قتل عام به جرم جنایت علیه بشریت و نسل کشی است.
The next speaker, Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State in the former U.S. administration.
Since 1979, every election in Iran has served only to give an appearance of republicanism to a corrupt, brutal theocracy. Any dealings with Raisi would be tantamount to dealing with a mass murderer. Actions supporting our love of the Iranian people must begin by holding Raisi accountable for his crimes against humanity back in 1988. Be blessed and protected. May the Iranian people be blessed.
Janez Janša, the Prime Minister of Slovenia, addressed the summit.
My special greeting goes to the keynote speaker of the summit, the President-elect of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, Mrs. Maryam Rajavi. Next president will be Ebrahim Raisi, who is accused by Amnesty International of crimes against humanity for this role in the massacre.
Next speakers were members of the US Senate and Congress.
We need look no further than Iran's recent presidential election, in which Ibrahim Raisi, a hardliner crony of the supreme leader, who is subject to U.S. human rights sanctions, your continued advocacy remains absolutely vital. It is a beacon of hope that one day the people of Iran, the United States, and indeed all the world will rejoice in an Iranian government that is at peace with the international community.
I'm honored to join you today by video to support all of those who stand for a free, democratic Iran. The current regime in Iran, as you all know, is simply not sustainable or effective as an option for the Iranian people.
Mrs. Maryam Rajavi, like most members of Congress, I have been following the developments in Iran closely and with alarm. Standing up for a free and democratic Iran is not your burden alone. The United States and the international community stand in support of your efforts.
I'm honored today to address the International Convention for a Free Iran. When we're talking about the future of Iran, it is my belief that we need to collapse the regime.
I'm happy to be with you today to stand in support of a free and democratic Iran. Hope that America, along with you and our allies, will see a democratic Iran that protects free speech and the rights of all people.
And so I commend you on your courage, on your strength, and on your leadership in helping to bring about a free, a secular, and a non-nuclear Iran, and to give the Iranian people the types of freedoms and liberties that they deserve. I stand with you. I know that members of Congress on both sides of the ideological spectrum, Democrats and Republicans, and both sides of the Capitol, the House and the Senate, stand with you.
In the first day of the summit, some other political dignitaries, including ministers and former ministers, delivered speeches.
I am happy that today I stand by the people who want to be part of the future of Iran. With Maryam Rajavi, there is hope that Iran will take place what deserves in the world.
We support the Iranian people and their goal for a democratic and non-nuclear Iran. We support the Iranian people's desire for change and commend Maryam Rajavi and her efforts to offer the people of Iran the perspective of a free, secular, and democratic country.
I think I'm absolutely persuaded there is not a way to give peace, prosperity, and future to Iran if we don't accept the idea to radical change in the regime.
Other speakers included Stephen Harper, Frederick Reinfeldt, Enda Kenny, Guy Verhofstadt, Peter Roman, Carlo Cottarelli, Said Ahmed Khosali, John Bercow, Giulio Terzi, Bernard Kouchner. Other members of the US Senate and Congress who delivered speeches were Senator Cory Booker, Senator Tom Tillis, Senator John Cornyn, Senator Maggie Hassan, Senator Rick Scott, Brad Sherman, Tom McClintock, Joe Wilson, Dean Phillips, Steve Cohen, Sheila Jackson-Lee, Judy Chu, Don Bacon, Gus Bilirakis, Angie Craig, Brad Schneider, Tom Emmer, French Hill, Pete Sessions, Raul Ruiz, and Nicole Maliotakis.
There are probably many mass murderers within the regime of terror, but one who's a prominent mass murderer, one who is identified as a mass murderer, one for which there are tape recordings of his being a mass murderer, and one who basically admits it. They have proven to us that you are a legitimate alternative.
The election, I think, of Raisi also proves that making concessions to the regime will not change their behavior. That is the role of the United States, to support the legitimate opposition. And our declared policy, our declared objective should be to overthrow the regime of the mullahs and replace it with a popularly elected government of the Iranian people.
Today I join you in solidarity. And this, the 40th anniversary of the founding of the National Council of Resistance of Iran. I want you to know personally that this daughter of the South, this former chair of the Democratic National Party, this woman who continued to believe in justice and equality, that I am with you, and that millions of my fellow Americans are with you, and that we will draw inspiration from your courage and your persistence, and we will stand with you, and we will be with you.
More prominent all-party Albanian politicians addressed the summit.
As a chairman of the Republican Party of Albania, I do support NCRI as the alternative to the regime to bring about peace and freedom in Iran. The 10 points plan of Maryam Rajavi, the president-elect of the National Council of Resistance of Iran for democratic, secular, and non-nuclear Republic of Iran is the way for free Iran.
Other speakers from Albania. Valentina Leskai, Edmond Espajo, Mimi Kodeli, Elona Jebria, Tritan Cheho, Claudia Josha, Clevis Balio, Uriala Pampuri, Namik Kobliku.
Day 3. Many other prominent U.S. and European dignitaries expressed their support for the Iranian resistance in bringing Ibrahim Raisi to justice. And other prominent speakers included Deborah Lee James, General James Jones, Senator Joseph Lieberman, Gary Locke, Judge Michael Mukasey, Michelle Alliot-Marie, John Baird, Martin Luther King III, and Garry Kasparov, Russian chess grandmaster.